Hi everyone, welcome back, or if it's your first time, welcome. My name's Tisdale. I'm a part-time reseller on places like eBay and Poshmark, and today's video is What Sold Wednesday. So for these videos, I go over what sold for me on eBay and Poshmark in the past 7 days, and those dates are going to be Monday, August 14th through Sunday, August 20th. And during that time, I sold a total of 17 items. Only 6 of those were from eBay and 11 were on Poshmark. So Poshmark definitely came in clutch this week. And even though I only sold 17 items, which I don't want to say even though, because that's a pretty good number, especially the past couple weeks, I had a couple really great sales that really increased my total profit and sales overall. So let's go ahead and get started. On Monday, August 14th, I had 0 sales, so we had a donut day, but that's okay. We'll move right along into Tuesday, August 15th, which I had 2 sales, and both of them were on Poshmark. The first item that sold for me were these Levi's ribcage jeans. They were brand new with tag. I believe I bought them wholesale a while back, a little over a year, because it took 384 days to sell. So I have realized or learned that like the ribcage or just the Levi's jeans don't seem to be selling as well as they used to, whether that be the wedgie or the ribcage. And I'm not sure if that's just because of oversaturation or if it's because the trend is kind of moving on, although I see them out a lot. So I'd have to guess that it's just kind of an oversaturation at this point. I only paid $5.66 for them, and they sold for $63, which is a great flip. I just wish they had sold a little bit faster. And the next item that sold for me on Poshmark was this Babaton, which is a brand that sold at Aritzia. It's this Lado is what the name of the dress was. It was either a midi or a maxi floral dress. Of course, I'll pop it up right here. But it was really pretty. I think it was a halter style, just really sleek, classic dress. And it took 75 days to sell, which isn't too bad. I picked it up for $13.05 and it sold for $39. Babaton still seems to be a pretty good brand to pick up. You just have to really pay attention to these styles. I feel like the more classic and streamlined styles sell best for Babaton. At least that's been my experience. Then on Wednesday, August 16th, I had 3 sales, and 2 of those were from eBay and 1 was from Poshmark. And the first item to sell on eBay, or I guess I should say items because they bought 2 of them, were my very favorite item to sell, and I am running out of, is of course these, I think they're like smart home key fobs. Again, I say this every time, I don't know anything about them, but they just sell really consistently, and I am down to 2 left after this sale. So I did only pay $4.28. Yep, $4.28 for the 2, and they sold for $99 each, so that's a total sales of $199.98. The last item to sell for me was a bit of a dud. I just came off of a sort of vacation. It was a work vacation. I guess I'll talk a little bit about that after I go over the items that sold. But coming back, I wanted to kind of ramp up sales a little bit, plus push out some old inventory, so I did a big sale on a lot of my Poshmark and eBay items. And so a couple items that I sold, I technically lost money on, but at this point it's either it needs to sell now or I'm getting ready to basically do a whole nother donation of old items that, you know, I've already marked down as low as I can possibly, mark them. So anywho, that item is this Hollister crop top. It's just a waffle knit basic light top. I'm not really sure what I was thinking with this. I believe I got it at the bins. It may have been a case of I was like, well, maybe I'll keep it myself, and I just generally never do, so I really have to stop thinking that way. But I did pay $2.30 for it, and it sold for $6.08. So after, fees and shipping, and I think I had it listed as free shipping. So after all that's taken out, I'm negative $166, but glad to get something back for it. And the shirt took 524 days to sell. Please don't ask me why I held on to it for so long. It's something I'm working on to stop doing, because there's just no reason I should be holding on to a Hollister shirt or anything that is marked at like down to $10 for like 2 years. I really gotta stop doing that. It's something I'm working on. And then moving on to Poshmark, I did have that one sale, and it's similar where I ended up being in the negative, but it is this TikTok purple sheer ruche corset dress. I thought this would do decently. I can't remember where I saw that it had sold at, but I paid $10.58, you know, just going out on a limb, which is kind of a lot to go out on a limb, at least for me. And I sold it for $11. So you can imagine, I didn't really make anything from that. And this dress did take 323 days to sell, which I don't feel like I had it that long, but I guess I did. I'm glad to see it go and get something for it, you know, versus being out $10.58. I made my money back and a couple more cents, maybe. At least made some of my money back. And then on Thursday, August 17th, I had 3 sales. One of those were on eBay and 2 were on Poshmark. The item that sold for me on eBay is another miniature portrait, which I'll go over the one I just sold last week, I think, and had a return, and that's a whole thing. But this one was the one when I mentioned last week, like I have one that is for sure a painting. This is the one I was talking about. It's really beautiful. The detail, it's beautiful. It sold internationally, and I've had it for 685 days. I got this at the same time as I got the last one, and I have one additional one, and it's weird because I've had these for years, 2 years at least, and they're just now kind of like selling, which is weird, all around the same time from different people in different countries. Anywho, I only paid $1.65 for it, and it sold for $244.79. So if you missed last week's What Sold Wednesday, I think it was last week, I had sold one of these miniature portraits, and I had already got the return because they said it was a print. And you know, again, I've had these for 2 years, so I couldn't really remember if it was a print or a painting. In my head, I was like, well, if I wasn't sure or thought it may be a print, I would have disclosed that, but I was just kind of taking their word for it. And plus I have free returns on eBay, so they could have returned it if they just got it and were like, I don't really like this. That's fine, but they did submit an item not as described, so that's where I was like, well, dang, you know. So I accept the return, they sent it back, and I, you know, took it out of the frame and looked at it, and it is a painting. So I'm not sure if they thought that if they didn't say it wasn't a painting, they couldn't return it. I'm not really sure, because the message that they sent me when they wanted to do the return was like, this isn't a painting, this is a print. Please refund all my money, including the return shipping. I don't want to get eBay involved, which is unnecessary because I have free returns and I pay for all of it. So I'm waiting to see that kind of hit my account so I can kind of, I guess, fight that with eBay. But those are just always really awkward and unfortunate because there's just no reason to, I guess, be that way. And who knows, maybe they really did think it was a print. I don't know. Anywho, I'm getting ready to list that back up, and I'm also taking a video of the actual painting, like up close out of the frame, so you can see for yourself even more of what you will be getting. Anyways, I am babbling now, but we'll just move on to Poshmark. And the first item that sold for me on this day for Poshmark was this Madewell open front gray cardigan sweater. It's just this long line basic cardigan. I did have it for 300 days, so a bit longer than I would like. Madewell just overall for basically every type of item, whether it's jeans or anything. Jackets don't seem to be selling as fast or as much as they used to. So this one I did pay $8.99 for, and it sold for only $14, which again was part of that big push to get out old inventory. I mean, part of me feels like I wish I would have just kept it for myself, but it has gone to a new home and I hope that they love it. And then the last item to sell for me on this day was this Skins Theory. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It was a brand I had never heard of, but it looked interesting. It kind of like this jacquard print dress. So I looked it up, and it looked like comps were decent at the time, but I did have it for 188 days, which I guess isn't too long, and maybe it's just one of those things that you keep seeing and you feel like you've had for way longer than you actually have. But I did pay $10.88 for it, and it sold for $19. Moving on to Friday, August 18th, I had 5 sales. 1 of those were from eBay and 4 were from Poshmark. I am not sure the last time that I had 5 sales in a day, so it's really great to see. The item that sold for me on eBay were these BDG girlfriend shorts. I had had them for 416 days, and on top of that, I paid $5.84 for them, and I'm a little confused for that, or a little confused about that, because I'm not really sure what I was thinking of paying $5.84. But anywho, I did, and they sold for $14.30. So I think maybe I was just trying to pick up shorts and see how they would do. I don't generally pick up shorts, and they haven't been doing very well for me, so I don't think I will pick them up in the future. And on Poshmark, the first item to sell for me was this Nike Heather Gray Pacer. It was like a long sleeve shirt, almost a sweater, and it was new with tag. And this is one of the items that was in that case lot series that I've been doing. So definitely glad to see any of those items go. It only took 29 days to sell, which is fantastic. I paid $3.39 for it, and it sold for $20. So not a great return on that, but it sold super fast. And if anything, these case lots have kind of been showing me, more bread and butter items that could sell really fast if I kind of gave them a chance. So I'm learning a little bit from it, but more to come on that in future case lot videos. And then the next item to sell for me were these Caesar Pasquati. I think that's how you say the name. This was a brand or a designer that I had never heard of. I think just the overall quality of the boot caught my attention, so I looked it up, and comps looked pretty good. And I have had this for 172 days, and I do remember listing high. I think I had it listed at $199, and when they sent me the offer for $60, I kind of sat on it for like half a day and re-looked up comps, and they just seemed all over the place. And some of them were even less than 60, some of them were up to the 199 that I had put it at. But I figured, you've had it listed for 172 days. You haven't gotten any offers on it besides this one. Let's go ahead and let this one go. And it is what it is. $60 isn't bad. I only paid $10.88 for them, so the return is great. I'm always an advocate of like listing high. You just want to be mindful to lower those prices if they're not selling for what you had initially thought, or being okay with taking a lower offer if it is sent to you. Because the last thing we want to do is get an offer, after we've listed it for 7 days, you get an offer that's like, okay, but we want to wait, and then 2 years go by and we never receive another offer. So definitely just be mindful of that. Make sure you're double checking your comps. If they seem all over the place, you may want to be okay with taking that lower offer. Obviously, it's up to you. The next item that sold for me was this marine layer. It was a navy and white striped dress, just your kind of basic dress. I only had it for 164 days, and I paid only $3.26 for it. More than likely, I got it at like a thrift store that had like a discount or something, because that's really low, and I sold it for $34. Marine Layer is a brand that in recent years I had never really been able to find. I just heard other resellers find it, and then all of a sudden this year I feel like I picked it up like 2 or 3 times, which is kind of crazy. To me, that either means that it's on the decline, or maybe I'm just more conscious of it, but a lot of times it just means it's on the decline. Hopefully that's not the case for this one. And the last item that sold for me on this day was probably my favorite piece, or most exciting piece that I got in that case lot series, and that was this Arc'teryx. It was like a maroon fleece zip up. I think it was called the Kyanite jacket. And Arc'teryx, if you know the brand, you know it retails for a lot of money and resells for great money too. I wish this was one of the like soft shell type jackets, or a puffer or something, but it was still great to find this one. It only took 38 days to sell, which for me has always been the case with Arc'teryx. It just sells really, really fast. and I paid $13.54 for it, and it sold for $79. On Saturday, August 19th, I had 2 sales. One was on eBay and one was on Poshmark. The item that sold on eBay was this Band of Gypsies floral kimono wrap or duster. I've had this for 634 days. Please tell me why I have held on to this item for so long. I don't know. I paid $6.29 for it. Maybe I was just testing out this brand, but like, why did I hold on to it? Anyways, it finally sold for $7.60. So another one where I lost some money overall. But again, getting something back is definitely better than getting nothing. And on Poshmark, the item that sold for me was this Woolrich. It was a women's orange check button-up, or maybe it was a plaid button-up, but it was orange. It was really great condition, just a really great overall shirt. I did get a lot of offers for this one since I've had it listed, which is 364 days, so essentially a whole year. But I have kind of stayed to the price that I wanted. I think I had it listed for, I want to say $39.99, and I picked it up for $7.19, and someone sent an offer for $41, and I took that. Previously they were sending offers for like $20, $25, and I was like, no, I know this is like a pretty good shirt, so I would send offers for like $39 and no one would ever take it. So I'm glad someone sent an offer for $41, and of course I took it when they did. And then on the last day, Sunday, August 20th, I had one sale, and it was on Poshmark. The item that sold for me was another bread and butter brand from that Case Lot series, and that was this Nike Dry Fit Academy. It was like a retro style soccer pants, track pants, and these only took 25 days to sell, so again, really fast. I paid $3.39 for them, and they sold for $23. So again, didn't sell for a ton of money, but sold really fast. So I'm really happy with that. A lot of these Nike pieces from the Case Lot series has been doing really well for me. All right, for the 17 items that I sold, my total sales was $876.47, which is fantastic. Love to see those numbers. It's definitely because a couple of those sales, the key fobs that sold for 100 each, and then that miniature portrait that sold for over $200. Definitely because of those. Either way, I'm very happy to see those numbers. So after you take out fees and shipping, cost of goods, my total profit for the week is $582.18. So I am really happy to see these numbers, especially, you know, the past couple of weeks I have not been very consistent with anything. So I did go recently on a trip, and it was to kind of check out the different thrift stores that area has. So I will be releasing that video in the coming weeks once we kind of get it all edited down. And that was really fun, a little exhausting, and definitely threw me off my schedule a little bit. But that would be kind of the dream for me. I mean, for a lot of you, right, is to be able to like go to different parts of the country or other countries and be able to like source and, you know, shop at those thrift stores or at those yard sales and see, you know, what it's like there, and just be able to travel and thrift. Like, that sounds like a great lifestyle for me. However, I am still at a 9-to-5, so I had to take time off to do that. And, you know, maybe one day we'll keep the dream alive. That being said, all that was going on, I have not been very consistent, so to see these numbers is really great. The next steps that I kind of want to take, I just did a pretty big sale or markdown last week, and this week I kind of want to go through and get rid of those Band of Gypsy or Hollister type items that I need to make room for new inventory. They got to get out here. They're not going to sell. I'm also thinking about doing a yard sale to maybe push out some of those items just to get, you know, a couple more bucks for it, and then after that, donate them, get them out of here. On top of that, I got to get back on my game with sending offers and listing. I still have a ton of inventory from that, case lot series that I did, still going through that and taking pictures and listing on top of items that I picked up for the trip that I just went on. And definitely have a bigger death pile than I have ever had, and I don't like it. So I really want to kind of like put the pedal down and get through that kind of inventory to really be able to see like what I have. Do I need to get rid of more stuff to make room for this inventory and things like that, and just really get on a consistent flow, because I've said in the past, I think that's really key to driving your business, is just consistency. But that's all I have for you guys this week. I hope this was helpful and you maybe learned a couple new brands, and maybe I reminded you to go through your inventory and get rid of some items that are just sitting there that you've had for years and you just need to get rid of. You're only gonna make maybe 50 cents, and you can make room from that spot and put in something that's a little bit more valuable. So maybe I inspired you to at least do that this week. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time.